Welcome back. If you are married or considering getting married, there can be a lot of work together as a couple to figure out what makes sense for you. Today we welcome David Flowers from David Flowers Couples Teletherapy to give us some tips to make those relationships last. You want people to be happy.
I do. That's all I want.
That's all you want.
That's all I want.
We want that too. So you have 3 different kinds of therapies to talk about today. Let's start off with discernment counseling.
Yeah, that's the one people don't know about.
I'm intrigued. What is discernment counseling?
So discernment counseling is a service that we provide for couples who have what I call mixed agendas, right? That's where one partner is like, oh, I really, really want to fix this marriage. It's really important to me. But the other partner is kind of like, I don't know. I don't really know where I'm at. So discernment counseling is really individual meetings with each partner, 3 to 5 individual meetings where I really kind of help them decide kind of what they want to do. It's either going to come down to we take no action, things stay the same, or we decide to enter into counseling and really make our best effort to save this, or we decide to move on and go our separate ways. And that's a process to help people decide.
Well, and for folks who feel like they're in that kind of spot, is that something that you often see?
Oh yeah, quite often. Couples will come in and I'll say, hey, what's going on? And I'll find out one partner is just all in and they really want to fix things, and the other partner just really isn't quite sure where they're at. So yeah, it's a really important service. We don't want to just throw them right into counseling, right?
Okay, there you go, discernment counseling.
Yep.
Well, before you get into the relationship married, let's talk about premarital counseling. Who should consider this? And what's that all about?
Yes, so premarital counseling is huge. I've done a ton of premarital counseling, and the reason it's important is because it's all about helping set expectations, right? The fact is, a lot of people are going into relationships expecting that it's always going to be like it is now, and we know that initial phase, that initial sort of dating and kind of the glow and all that really wears off after a year. Honeymoon phase wears off after a year, 2 years max. And at that point, the stability of a relationship starts depending a lot more on the decisions you're making and the actions you're taking than it does on how you're feeling. And so premarital counseling is helping people know what's coming up so that when things happen that they're not expecting, which is a lot of things are going to happen they're not expecting, they'll understand that this is par for the course and it doesn't mean things are falling apart, and help people know that they can get through those things.
Plan ahead a little bit.
Absolutely.
And then finally, what about couples therapy just in general? Why is that important?
So couples therapy is for people who are struggling, right? And 90% of the time people say it's communication problems, right? Having problems listening, having problems validating, feeling unheard, things like that. So
you help them work through that.
Yeah, it's helping them work through it. And a lot of the time, people come in who aren't married and they're wondering if they should do premarital counseling. But when I listen to their issues, maybe there's been some faithfulness issues, there's some trust issues. And in that case, I really recommend that people really do more of a standard therapy. Premarital counseling really is typically for younger couples who are going into a first marriage, who really don't have maybe a really rich history of being in relationships.
And then couples counseling really for anyone?
Couples counseling for couples who are really having significant struggles.
There's more information on your screen. You can find out more by going to davidflowerstherapy.com. And again, 3 types of therapy that we learned about today. Again, I hadn't heard the discernment one. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
You too, man.